have a very long list of groups of people I will address, and I have decided I will actually go through this list because it stands exemplary for the many partners that you actually have. So, Excellency Vice Chair of the Cabinet of Ministers, Excellency Vice Foreign Minister, ambassadors and representatives of the diplomatic corps, distinguished development partners, civil society, women groups, youth representatives, dear members of the UN country team, dear friends, and last but not least, dear Louise and dear colleagues from UNDP. It is my great pleasure to be with you tonight here to mark the 30th anniversary of the signing of the assistance agreement between UNDP and the government of the Kyrgyz Republic. And I would like to join His Excellency, the Vice Chair of the Cabinet of Ministers, in his appreciation of UNDP's important contribution as part of the UN system's overall support to the development aspirations of the government and the people of the Kyrgyz Republic. Congratulations to you, dear Louise, and your fabulous team, in your own functions and as representatives of the many UNDP colleagues who have served in Kyrgyzstan over these last 30 years, for the numerous achievements and contributions, and we have heard some of them already from Edi Baysalov, across sectors and segments of society and across the entire country, to alleviate poverty, strengthen the country's democratic institutions and the rule of law, promote an equitable society by focusing on gender equality and supporting vulnerable groups, and build a green and sustainable economy based on human creativity, innovation, and digital technologies. I was thinking when entering actually and seeing the drone here that this must be the first time that in this opera building there is a drone being used, and that speaks to your innovation and the creativity in particular. All of this, of course, just to mention a few areas where you have left marks in partnership with the government, elected officials, political parties, civil society, private sector, and the donor community. This jubilant occasion takes place within the framework of this year's 30th anniversary of the Kyrgyz Republic's membership in the United Nations, and I would like to take this opportunity to thank our national and international partners for the long-term partnership and cooperation, which over the last 30 years has grown and deepened on the basis of trust, shared responsibility, and a strong commitment to the values of the UN Charter, and to achieve first the Millennium Development Goals and now the Sustainable Development Goals. I'm extremely proud to note that during those 30 years, the UN family in Kyrgyzstan, with the current 26 UN entities, has been supporting Kyrgyzstan in addressing the complexity of development challenges, which more than ever require a strong and efficient collective UN system in full sync with priorities determined at the national level and cognizant of regional and global opportunities and challenges. In this context, the UN development system underwent very significant and comprehensive reforms in 2018 to enable the UN to become even more responsive to the needs of national governments and societies as they seek to consolidate their national development gains and to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals in this decade of action. With the UN reforms, UNDP's technical leadership role has been further strengthened and focused in areas such as socio-economic and green development, digitalization, climate action, governance, and peace building, again, to mention just a few. A strong UNDP that also helps integrate the work and expertise of the specialized UN agencies' funds and programs remains essential for effectiveness, delivery, and contribution of the whole UN system. And UNDP in Kyrgyzstan, under your leadership, Louise, has done exactly this. And I'm very grateful to you and your team for continuing to work in the spirit of the UN reforms and helping to amplify the UN's effectiveness in supporting Kyrgyzstan's national development priorities. In June this year, the United Nations and the Kyrgyz government have signed the UN Sustainable Development Cooperation Framework, which is the key strategic document that guides the work of all UN development system entities in the Kyrgyz Republic over the next 5 years. The framework has been developed through a series of consultations with the government, private sector, civil society, and international partners, many of you who are here tonight, to celebrate with us, and it is fully aligned with the National Development Agenda. This is our joint commitment to long-term sustainable development of Kyrgyzstan, which complements the agility of the UN system to help respond in times of crisis, including through the emergency response plan, which we are currently implementing to cover the most pressing humanitarian needs of affected populations in Batken. It also provides the framework for UN agencies working closely together in supporting the country in the implementation of its human rights commitments, as well as other international agreements and commitments, including, for example, the outcome of the Global Climate Conference, which just adjourned, or the follow-up to the Transforming Education Summit convened by the Secretary General in the margins of this year's General Assembly, all of which occasions where the Kyrgyz government has actually made very ambitious pledges in the interest of the development of Kyrgyzstan. Ladies and gentlemen, today, Kyrgyzstan faces unprecedented development challenges. The global context and events in the region have generated formidable challenges in terms of rising costs of living, increasing unemployment and growing poverty, with the effects of climate change potentially further exacerbating these challenges. In this situation, as UN system, we are stepping up to the challenge to accompany the country in exploring opportunities to bring the achievement of the Sustainable Development Goals back within reach. UNDP will remain central in these endeavors through research and policy support, capacity development, and its focus on development finance, digitalization, and innovation as key components of a future-oriented and innovation-driven development cooperation in the priority areas identified as the basis of the UN system's partnership with the Kyrgyz government and the people. I look forward to working with you, with UNDP, with all of you under your leadership, Louise, and the whole UN system on further deepening this partnership. Again, congratulations and thank you.